But yeah, it's on today. It's on today, and I know that there's a lot of Niner fans. And now, I'm obviously not a Niner fan. You may have been able to guess, but I think it's ironic that for years you haven't heard anything, and this year they act like they've been there the whole time, right? But nevertheless, this year is reputation rehab for the Niners. It really is. So way to go, Niner fans, and so way to go, 49ers. And I've also noticed this week that the Astros had a bad week. Houston Astros, they got caught cheating. The irony, it wasn't the Patriots this time. It was the Astros. And so they need to rehab their reputation. And then, of course, last night there was a fight. Relatively speaking, it only lasted 40 seconds. Conor McGregor just beat this guy to a pulp in 40 seconds. Right? Not even enough time to sweat, because his reputation took a big hit a few years ago. So I think that's good reputation rehab. So we're talking about reputation rehab. All of us, don't we all have things where we need our reputation kind of rehabbed a little bit? How many of us have had bad moments? Embarrassing times. How many of us have said things that we really know that we shouldn't have said? Done things you wish you hadn't have done, right? See, we all need reputation rehab. So has anyone ever gotten sucked into a bad deal? I mean, a bad deal, like you bought something and just a short time later you're going, oh my God, what was I thinking? I mean, anybody ever bought a used car from a citrus dealer? And I have to explain myself because not everybody caught on. I mean, you bought a lemon, So every once in a while or you get caught up in something that you know that you shouldn't, and everything kind of come unraveled. I'm going to dispense to the chair today. I'm feeling pretty good these days, guys. Feeling good. See, that's why we need reputation rehab. We've all got stories of bad deals. Times when we were taken advantage of or the rip-offs where the price that we paid was way higher than what we got back. Everybody's got those kind of stories, right? And so those times either we didn't understand, we got ourselves sucked in, maybe some slick sales pitch, and oftentimes it's just a dumb decision. Got any friends in the room, right? And it makes you feel kind of foolish when that happens. You ever have a deal where you made a really bad deal and it's found out, you're like I'm embarrassed, right? So I remember as a young boy, my brother and I were messing around in this tree, and in the hollow of this tree, we found this big wooden box in this tree. And when we opened the wooden box, it was filled with coins. I mean, probably 6 or 7 pounds of coins. It was filled with coins. And we're just little boys. So all of a sudden, these two boys were rich. We are rich. We talked to all of our friends. They loved us. We were buying candy and soda pop. We were just throwing money around like drunken sailors. It was just crazy. Our friends would say, hey, I want one of these. Sure, just go ahead. We just throw a handful of change at them. And man, we were having the time of our life until the cops showed up. Apparently, it was someone's rare coin collection that had been stolen. Rare coin collection. So all of this pocket change we were throwing around was worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So we were dropping $200 coins in a soda pop machine for a can of Pepsi. That's insane. See, we didn't know we were innocent. See, these are the stories of the unsuspecting and the innocent. But see, here's the deal. A lot of our stories were not innocent. We're not unsuspecting. Oftentimes we make decisions, even sometimes knowing it's a bad decision, but we do it anyway. Do I have any friends in the room? And then we're faced with regret. It's like, oh my gosh, I acted foolishly. Now what am I going to do, right? So where we exchange something of high value for something of much lower value. I mean, let's get real. We've done that in relationships. We've done that with our time. We've done it with jobs. We've done it even with habits in our lives, right? That's why we need reputation rehab. That make sense? Okay? See, the value of every life-changing experience is not just in the experience itself, but it's in the story behind the experience. See, people might not understand your sobriety unless they know that there's a story behind your sobriety. They might not understand why you're celebrating an anniversary until they see that there's a story behind that where you almost fell apart, that you're even having an anniversary. See what I'm talking about? See, that's what we're talking about, reputation rehab. So the story behind that really makes all the difference in the world. Check this out. This is the silver dollar. I've had this for several years. The silver dollar. Okay? And at the bank, guess how much they say that this is worth? Guess. This is the smart group. Silver dollar, the bank says it's worth $1. Check this out. This is 1,000 Afghanis. No, really, no. This is the real deal. 1,000 Afghanis. How many of you guys are wondering what an Afghani is? Money from Afghanistan. Okay? There was a soldier that was stationed in Afghanistan. He brought this back to me. 1,000 Afghanis. Huh? Yeah? What are you thinking? So the bank in Afghanistan, guess how much that they say that this is worth? 1,000 Afghanis. Come on now. Hey, Niner fans. That was funny. Okay, now check this out. In today's world, this 1978 silver dollar, guess how much this is worth? $20. In today's world, guess how much my 1,000 Afghanis are worth? $12. That means one Afghani is worth 1.2 cents. That's pretty bad, right? See, the silver dollar has been around for a long time, through a lot of good times, bad times, this kind of stuff, but yet its value has increased. And the Afghani has been through a war-torn country. I mean, there is corruption, gone crazy, selfishness. It's just really, really wild. And it's destroyed the economy and making their currency almost useless. Okay, so here's the deal. So the story behind the silver dollar, even though it is chaotic, because there's hope behind the story, it increased value. But because there's corruption behind the story and selfishness, it decreased the value. Now, the reason I'm saying is, see, all of us, our lives are full of challenges. Often daily challenges. How we navigate those challenges, the stories behind all those challenges, will determine if those can build value into our lives or they can drain value from our lives. Is this making any sense? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about today. So, see, sometimes what we see as disappointment is God moving on our behalf. You know, sometimes because we are so stubborn, God has to close doors because we'll just charge right on through. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Because sometimes God will close a door because He wants you to wait for His open door. And so He's trying to set you up like that. See, His displeasure is not in people, but it's in our choices that we make. So your story probably has way more value than you give it credit for. So you don't sell out for less. Now today we're going to take a look at these two brothers, these two twin brothers, Jacob and Esau. And so what we can learn from them in their challenges, that we can either add value to our story, or we can miss some parts and lose value in our story. So it's in Genesis chapter 25, verse 29. This is an entertaining story for me, because it's like a no way kind of thing. And verse 29 says, now Jacob cooked a stew. Everybody say stew. It's just stew. And Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. Anybody know what it is to be weary? Anybody fighting for all you're worth and you're just tired? Right? He came in weary. And Esau said to Jacob, please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary. Therefore his name is called Edom. By the way, Edom simply means red. That's all it means. I thought there was something deep there, but I was wrong. Okay? But Jacob said, sell me your birthright as of this day. And Esau said, look, I'm about to die. Really, he's so hungry, he says, I'm about to die. The difference in my life between life and death is the bowl of stew. Does that sound that sounds stupid? If I don't, I mean, who would do that? If I don't eat, I'm going to die. You would do that. You've done that. I'm starving to death. If you don't feed me, I'm going to die. I mean, isn't that dramatic? Sound real? If I don't get what I want, I'm going to die. If I don't talk to my boyfriend, I'm going to die. Oh, now we're getting real, right? He said, look, I'm about to die, so what is this birthright to me? Then Jacob said, swear to me as of this day. And he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and a stew of lentils. What the heck? Stew of lentils. And he ate and drank, arose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Lentils. Anybody here like lentils? You do not. You like the other crap they put in the lentils. You say, I like lentils with bacon. No, you like bacon. I like lentils with ham. You like ham. You know why they put that in lentils? Because they're lentils. So Esau despised the bird. That means he treated it like it had no value. So really, how much are lentils worth? How much is a bowl of lentils worth? Or how much is Esau's birthright worth? Isn't that crazy? Aren't those crazy questions? See, that day they were equal value. See, that day Esau saw the two as being equal through his desperation. Listen. Loretta got this bag of lentils for me for $1.85. Way overpriced. I was thinking 68 cents. $1.85, okay? And usually the cook with something else to give it some flavor because they don't have any. Esau's birthright that he sold to his brother Jacob for a bowl of lentils was worth at least $4 or $5 million. That's crazy. So how in the world could a bowl of lentils be worth $4 or $5 million? Isn't that insane? So, man, I got a bowl of lentils. What'd you pay for it? Check this out. $4 million, baby. Yeah. What do you think you are, federal government? Right? That's crazy. But see, that's the crazy. Here's a better question. This makes more sense. How could Esau's birthright be worth so little? See, here's the thing. So we have these valuable things in our life. And in times of desperation, we sell out valuable things for less valuable things because we're desperate. Am I talking to you yet? See, and just like the silver dollar, so you wonder why this stuff can happen. Just like the Afghanis and just like the silver dollar, it doesn't make sense unless you know the story behind it. So here's the story behind these lentils. First of all, it says that Esau was weary. Esau was weary. When we're tired and we're worn down by the stuff of life, things of value can lose their value when we're tired. Isn't that true? That's where we can be disrespectful in a relationship. That's where we can treat things callously when we're tired. When we're tired of fighting, tired of the drama, tired of the struggle, tired of waiting, tired of it seeming so hard, and tired of getting nowhere. See, Esau had came in from the field with nothing. He labored really hard and came up empty-handed. Anybody know what that's like? Anybody know what it's like to work hard in a relationship and the relationship still crash? Anybody know what it's like to give your best to a job and somebody else get the promotion? Anybody know what it's like to try too hard to get your life back on track and things still fall apart? See, he was tired. And when we've been working hard and have nothing to show for it, we become weak and we fall for stuff. It's not just our job. not just our finances, it's family, it's relationships, it's just trying to keep stuff together. When we have nothing to show for it, we come in from the field and we're weary. See, the strategy of our enemy, the devil, is revealed in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Here's what it says. It says that he will attempt to wear out the saints. So that means that the devil's strategy is not to blow you out. I mean, there's nobody in this room where the devil can come to you and say, hey, words of Satan. You go, you know, I've been giving that some thought. No, nobody's going to do that. I mean, if you do, well, different conversation, but he's not going to come to you like that. But what he's going to do, he's going to dangle something in front of you and say, look, here is your easy way out of trouble. Here's how you sidestep the process. Here's how you make things easier on yourself. We sacrifice things of value for things that don't have any value. See, when we're weary, listen, this is the most important thing you're going to hear today. When we are weary, we overestimate our struggles and our problems, and we underestimate our strength and our promises. When we're weary, we overestimate our troubles. Oh, this is the worst day of my life. No, you've had worse. I've never been so messed up before. Oh, no, you've been way jacked up before. Right? We overestimate our problems and our struggles, and yet we underestimate our strength and our future promise. And the two don't compare, right? See, Esau's response to Jacob is absolutely ridiculous. He said, I'm about to die. Here's what I know, and you already know too. There's no way that a bowl of lentils is going to stand between Esau and dying. We know that, right? There's no way. I mean, you guys are sitting here. Anybody hungry? Here's what I know. Here's what I know. That today, if you don't eat by noon, I'm fairly confident you will live through it. I mean, looking at some of you, you could probably go a week or so. I'm just playing, come on. You see what I'm saying? See, there's no way, see, his hunger was exaggerated by his circumstances. Is this making sense? See, when you're desperate, your problems get exaggerated and your strength gets underestimated all the time, right? So his hunger began to shout louder, and his promise just turned into just almost a silent whisper. See, everything in our life, everything is economics. We have an economy of emotional strength. We have an economy of personal strength. We have an economy of spiritual strength. Basic economics says this: if you don't put more in than you have going out, you'll go bankrupt. This is easy. See, so everything there's. So here's what I need. If I know I'm going to have to give out a lot of energy later, I need to save some now. If not, I'll go bankrupt. Does this make sense? I know that if I'm facing something that is emotionally draining later, like for instance, if you're going to have a family talk later, is that emotionally draining? You better not waste all of what you have now, because you're going to need that later. It's an economy. Here's what we know. See, all of us, most of what we do is spiritually draining. And if it's spiritually draining, we can't spend all of our spiritual strength on things that really don't matter, because it'll cost us in the long run. That's why Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 12, verse 35. He said, a good man out of the good stored up in him brings forth good things. But if you don't store up any good, it will bankrupt your spirit, and you'll find yourself trading the good stuff for stuff that don't matter, okay? So that means my question for a guy like Esau is just simply this: what were you chasing that left you so wore out that you thought you were dying and sold out everything you had? Right? Is that crazy? See, everything in life has an economy. Just like these 1,000 Afghanis and the silver dollar. Everything has an. So How we deal with it, how we navigate those times will determine if it has less value or more value. Don't exaggerate the struggle. Just because you know it is going to cost you more in the long run. Verse 34 says that Esau despised his birthright. Now, not despised in a way we would look at him, but what it means is he didn't understand the value until it was too late. Not that he hated it. See, he got caught up in the heat of the moment. And in the heat of the moment, he couldn't see his future. Isn't that how we are? Isn't that how temptation works? Temptation in our lives at all. Temptation tells us, take this now and don't consider what's going on later. Okay? Satisfaction for the current hunger at the cost of the later blessing. Now, I'm not saying what you're going through is not hard. I know sometimes some days are very difficult. Some issues are harder than other issues. I know, for instance, like relationship issues, they're tough. When your kids are going through stuff, that's tough. When you're not getting along with your folks, that's really tough. So I'm not saying that's not important, that it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is the power of your promise is greater if you won't fall prey to that just single moment. See, I try to do this, and I'm not real good at it yet, but I'm working on it. But I try to do what I call a 24-hour rule. If something hits me and I get very passionate about it. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by passionate about it, or I feel like I need to say something. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you feel like you just need to say something. Somebody needs straightening out. They deserve a piece of your mind. I have an opinion about anybody know what I'm talking about besides me, right? So if I'm feeling very passionate about it, I try to do what I call the 24-hour rule. I'm going to sit on it for 24 hours. If I feel just as passionate 24 hours later, then I'll probably do something about it. But you know what I found out? Most of the time I don't. Because passion burns fast. Then I just give it to Jesus and just move on. See, don't sell out your future promise for your current struggles. Why? It's just lentils. So let me kind of wrap this up. So what if what I'm saying to you today, what if it's too late? What if you've already blown it? What if you've already traded valuable things in your life for things that don't have a lot of value? What if you've already lost things of value? You're just trying to find your way back. What do you do then? What if you feel like you've made that trade, you thought it was something good, and ended up something being not so good? Happens every day. See, if you sold out, God's saying it's time to buy you back. That's what salvation is all about, guys. See, that's reputation. See, here's the great thing about God. You can't go so far that he can't reach you. And you can't sell out so much that you're not worth everything to buy you back. That's what reputation rehab is all about. In the Old Testament, in the book of Hosea, there's a really interesting story. Hosea is a prophet of God, and God has something that he wants to say to his people. So in order to get that message across, God tells Hosea, this prophet, I want you to go down to the red light district, and I want you to take a prostitute as your wife. All right? Hey, preacher man, I want you to go find a hooker and marry her. Huh? Now, my first thought, maybe yours too, what about my reputation? I guess as I'm rescuing theirs. So Hosea went down and he found a girl and married her. Her name was Gomer. No, for real, for real. She was gorgeous. If your name is Gomer, you better be good looking. Right? I mean, really. Imagine me introduce, well, this is my wife. People go, whoa, her name is Gomer. Oh. I don't know, my head works in weird ways. I'm just thinking, what was her name for short? Gomer? I don't know. But I've just lost it, huh? So he married this girl named Gomer. And they had a few kids. But meanwhile, Gomer's former lovers were whispering in her ear. And over time, they got Gomer's attention. And it wasn't long until Gomer went back to her former lovers. Left Hosea and the kids. Sounds like a pretty modern story, right? And I imagine Hosea's friends are like, dude, I told you. What were you thinking? Just left him. So her former lovers were partying, having a good time, until they used her completely up and left her worthless. She lost her family. She lost her value. And she finally lost her freedom. In chapter 3 of Hosea, we find this once beautiful woman standing on top of an auction block being sold as a slave. Wore out, broken, used up. Imagine her head slumped over and her head is covered. Her eyes are looking down. The auctioneer opens up the bid and compels the crowd to bid on this poor worn-out soul. And the crowd remains silent. Nobody is going to do anything. Nobody offers even a dime. It seemed that she no longer had any value to anyone. As the auctioneer waited until a voice from the back shouted across the crowd. Said, I will pay full price. Where no one bid a thing. This voice from the back of the crowd said, I will pay full price. That voice was Hosea, her husband. Here's what I want you to understand. She wasn't worth anything to anyone, but she was worth it all to the one who loved her most. See, my friends, that's how God sees you. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter if you sold. It doesn't matter if you bought into Lentils and sold your best for everything that is worth. God said, you know what? It doesn't matter because I think you are worth it all. Therefore, I give heaven's best for your worst because you are mine. I love you that much. Hosea bought her back not out of pity, but out of love. Not for where she's been or what she's done, but for whose she is. She's his. Friend, you were in the mind and heart of God the day that you were conceived in your mother's womb. Regardless of how it happened, regardless of what you've been through, regardless of how the story played out, regardless of all the stuff you've been through, you were in the heart and mind of God before there was even a single day. And that day has brought you to this day right now. And God says, you know what? I am buying you back at full price, not a discounted price, not because you're nothing, but because you are worth it all. That's why we don't sell out cheap. Because you, my friend, are worth heaven's best. There's not a single person in this room that is worth any more than the other. But every person in this room is worth God's everything. When he was hanging on the cross, you right here today, your name was on his lips. Matter of fact, it says this is amazing. It says in the book of Isaiah, as they drove those nails through his hands, it says our names are written on the palms of his hands. He knew you were going to be here today. He knows what you've been going through this week. He knows the struggles that you've been having. He knows how hard it's been. So they drove the nails in there. Your name was right there. So listen, If you're standing on the edge and you're wondering, is the promise worth it? Is it worth waiting? Is it worth trying? Listen, I know there's people in this room, you're saying, is our marriage worth it? There's people in here, honestly, and I know that I'm speaking from the voice of God. You're right there. You're right there. You're standing on the edge. And you wonder if it's worth the fight, if it's worth the struggle. Don't sell out something of high value for a bowl of lentils. So when you put it in that perspective, really, what was the cause of divorce? Lentils. Excuse me? If you're standing on the edge and there's a chance to escape that's in front of you, a chance to run away, a chance to get out of your problems, and you're ready to take that leap, remind yourself, it's just lentils. There's no way it can be worth God's future that He has for you. There's no way. Step back from the edge, my friend. Step back and say, you know what, God, okay, maybe I can't see it right now, but I will. I will. See, this year, my friends, I've said it before, this is our year of promise. I've already heard so many stories about how the year was already turned around and just overwhelmed. A lady walked out of the first service just all choked up because of the favor that God is showing in her life. And there have been people who shared me with the opportunities that have just burst open. And see, the deal is, don't trade what's in your future for your current hunger. It never pays back what it promises. Could I get you to bow your heads and close your eyes for just a moment, please? You're sitting in this room today, and you've been so tempted to escape. You're like on your last nerve. You even told yourself, I'm just giving this one last chance, and if it doesn't work out, that's it, I'm out. If I'm talking to you, just simply show me, just raise your hand real fast, up and right back down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know there's more. Come on, come on. It doesn't matter who's sitting by you. Come on now, raise your hand. Come on, come on. Thank you, thank you. Question number 2. The stuff that you're facing has somehow on the inside devalued you. You see yourself as damaged goods now, as worth less. And my friend, that's not true. But you're struggling for all your worth for your worth. Something's broken inside, and it needs to be healed. If that's talking to you this morning, could you just raise your hand real quick, put it right back down? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Could you all stand, please? Honestly, there's really not much good in my life that I would trade for a bag of lentils. I mean, really. Even with bacon in it. There's not much. Joe, do you like lentils? Thank you. You're a good man, Joe. Oh, shut up. In fact, there's probably people even going to come up and ask me if I will give them a bag of lentils. I'm so sorry. But listen. If you've already made that trade, Jesus wants to buy you back. If you've already come from a broken relationship, Jesus still wants to buy you back. If there's something in your life right now, I just feel God saying, there's something in your life that has absolutely crushed you on the inside. My friend, Jesus is here to buy you back. Not at a discounted price because you're damaged good, but a full price because you are worth it all. He's here to buy you back. So what I want to do right now as we close the service today, I'm going to say a coming home prayer with you, okay? Think about this, just interesting. Imagine how awkward it felt for Gomer to walk back into the house after all of that. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? In my mind, I just picture when Hosea and her came face to face after that. She had to be wondering what he would do, what he would think, right? You know what I think he did? I think he pulled the hood from over her head, wrapped his arms around her tight, squeezed her, and then "I'm never letting you go" hug. Grabbed both sides of her face and gave her a giant welcome home kiss. You could never devalue what God says is worth everything. So I'd like you to pray this prayer with me, okay? If you've been far from God for whatever's going on, or maybe you've been avoiding God because you don't think you're worth it, this is your coming home prayer. You ready? God, thank you so much for loving me and believing in me when I didn't love myself or believe in myself. So here's everything, the beginning to the end, the good and the bad. I surrender to you. My life is now yours from this day forward. In Jesus' name, amen. Welcome home, Gomer. Now this morning before we leave, we don't want you to leave with that heaviness on your shoulders. You know what I'm talking about? Because the things that have happened to us or the things that we've done can be a heavy weight on our shoulders. And if God says you're worth full price, why are you going to carry a burden back out? So what I'm saying is today, before you leave, find a place to pray. People say, well, I don't know how to pray. You know how to talk? That's good enough. Okay? Find a place to pray. Find a place to establish that relationship with God. Pray with one of our prayer partners. What a great idea. Pray when you're standing. Turn around, maybe just kneel at your seat or just sit in your seat, but find a place to pray. So when you leave that burden and that heaviness here and you walk out alive and free. Right? Right? Love you, New Life. Come on, Pastor Lou.